And welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to Farm Simulator 25. We are back here in almost said Alma Creek, Alma, Missouri. Whoops, two completely different maps. But we've made some additions to our farm, and I have several different little gardens going on. This is just one of them. This one, we are currently growing some strawberries, some Napa cabbage, and some garlic. So that's what we got going on in here. I just got done filling everything up. So I can actually park this, because now that we have everything filled up, I don't need to haul near as much, and I should be able to use this to keep things maintained. So let's get this pulled out of here. We are doing this in our backyard. So yes, I am driving this XUV, I guess. Little utility vehicle, but I believe, yeah, XUV 845E John Deere. And we do have the legit run flats, because there's no air to release. This one we are growing, let's see here, some tomatoes, some lettuce, some spring onion, and some chili peppers. So we'll see if I end up making anything out of this stuff, or if we just kind of sell it to market. And I do have one bigger one in a different area. I'm glad I got this all done, because rain is coming. Let's see here. And the nice thing about this trailer is, if I want to, I can actually take the sides off. I can decrease the capacity. I can actually make it a flatbed if I wanted to. So that's a nice little utility trailer to have on the farm. So yeah, once we start selling things and I need to pick up pallets, I'll probably at least be grabbing that, so we can get everything kind of consolidated together. Especially since, you know, the other two spots are kind of in a spot where we can't get anything big in there. So chickens are doing just fine. Slowly getting some eggs. Yeah, they're doing great with food. Of course, they're getting all the little bugs and such out of the grass, so they're enjoying that piece as well. And this is our other plot of land that we have made into a garden. And I may actually convert the rest of this grassy area behind us, because we did actually plant grass. We planted grass there, and we planted grass over there. I basically dug them down just so that way we can be able to take better care of it. Just because it is going to be grass that I'm going to harvest for our animals, so I do want to get the best product possible. With this particular garden, we have a lot of stuff growing, as you can tell. A little bit of everything. So let's run down the line here. We've got some lettuce, some tomatoes, strawberries, spring onions, Napa cabbage, excuse me, scarecrow, chili peppers, garlic, potatoes. Hello, passing train, I hear you honking your horn. Potatoes, sunflowers, carrots, parsnips, red beets, peas, green beans, spinach, grapes, and olives. So I do plan keeping at least some of the harvest just for, you know, having fresh veggies at the house. But I just really like to look at this. Plus we have this nice table over here, so we can do whatever we want. I got some toys kind of scattered around, nice little swing. Of course, we have a shed that we can actually go into. So At least that way, if it's raining outside, we can bring everything in here. We can process things in here if we need to. As long as it lets me in and out. I am looking at actually buying a small shed over here, so that way I can keep, you know, individual bags of seed and fertilizer. Well, not necessarily fertilizer. Over here uses manure. So we do have this set up to run with manure, and they do have. Obviously we filled it up with seed as well as water. So I have not. I don't think I ran pipes yet. I might have. I have a mod that is supposed to spread water around to wherever it's needed. I just don't know if it's working right. So yeah. But I got this XUV John Deere mainly to help with these gardens. And, you know, being able to drive around the farm, taking care of our, you know, bigger animals, not just chickens, is always helpful. So I did have this plowed dirt where the garden is that we just planted, but I'm fine with taking up space. Like I said, I might put a couple more of those in through here, so that way we don't have near as much random stuff in one setting. We can kind of spread it out evenly. That's what I did with the other two. For what those can plant, I have 4 in one and 3 in the other of the different options. So I'm slowly accumulating a lot of different things. So excuse the mess around the farm. So this is actually our pump pulling the groundwater out. This is actually the mod I was referring to that is supposed to be distributing the water throughout the farm. Again, I'm not 100% certain if it's working right. I thought it was supposed to pull from whatever water source I had available, but no, I currently have to fill it first, and then I think it distributes. But anyway, long story short, we're slowly working on it. Hey, it is working at least for here, because I didn't have 100,000 liters in this yet of water. So yay. This is basically our lime generator. I did have stones in there, but it appears that we have processed those already, which is fine. So now we have a way to make our own lime. Ended up building this barn because I ran out of room in that bar shed for bales. That is a bales only building, so yeah. And it appears that our helper has left this truck running. Lovely. Thankfully, it was packed full of diesel when we filled it up. Because we are doing some planting this fall. Aside from the grass, that is. These two fields in grass. I do have another water trailer over here. I have a total of 3 water trailers, but this one can actually be... Oh no, not this one. One of the other ones. I have another one similar size. I think that we can fill it with just about anything, so... Alright, so what do we got over here? We got goat milk, full pallet, which I think we can get another one. And then wool. So I'm going to figure out where I can take that wool if I have a place on the property yet, or maybe I need to build something. They're all up here. Wow. Why are you guys all the way up here? Why aren't you down? Oh, there's a couple down here. So apparently, one of the recent updates, Giants has decided to not allow us to remove, and apparently it's caused issues with the actual location of the meadow for these animals to be in. I don't fully understand it, but I kind of do. But I guess removing these kind of causes funky issues, apparently. So I'm hoping they fix that because, you know, I know most of us that play this game love to be able to have a meadow for most of these buildings, but at the same time, we kind of want to do our own thing with the fence line. So I really hope they can fix that and bring that back. Because otherwise, I would have swapped out that fence. And it's not just because of this particular map, it's any map. It's part of their general updates that they've done. So kind of use this as storage for a lot of different pieces of equipment that have to do with our animals. Mainly hay and grass type of equipment, TMR, that kind of thing. I have a couple new buildings over here. This is designed to basically store and mix our TMR for the cattle. I don't have anything in there yet. We'll get it. We'll get to that point. And this is actually designed to take whatever grass we pull off the field and ferment it. So that's why we have those over here. Again, we have filled up this bale haul. So, yay! At least we are getting stuff for our animals so we can continue to feed them properly. Oh, didn't even really pay attention, but looks like Paul has bought his, and ran into a tree apparently. His little RV trailer thing. He's been talking about getting one of those for a while, so it looks like he actually pulled the trigger on it and got it. All right, let's go check out our fields at the moment. And we'll be getting the tablet out as well. If I can stay on the roads and out of the field. So we still do have 3 remaining fields that are going to need harvested, and they are all corn. This one here, obviously. This big field over here. Oh, let's not drive into it. And there's a little tiny field over in the corner that is going to need to harvest here, I believe, starting in October. So that is going to be on my plate here before too long. All right, so as far as what we have planted, the big field that we planted over here, I'm really hoping that they're getting that finished and that they've cleaned up all their wonky lines. But we're just planting a cover crop, and they definitely have not done that. Because there's all interesting stones left. There's all kinds of wonkiness in this, as you can tell. So I may have to fire them, send them home, whatever. Get rid of my helper and clean that field up myself. So, but yeah, that's just oilseed radish there. We did barley in here. I think I did this other field in wheat, or maybe it was sorghum. Yeah, wheat. So which means that field across the creek there, you can kind of see there in the distance, is gonna be sorghum more than likely. I think sorghum. No, canola. Sorghum is not able to be planted until April, May timeframe. All right. Yeah, corn starts off in October, goes through November. So hopefully the weather cooperates. Yeah, they're calling for potential for snow all through October. Oh, lovely. Just what I like to hear. So we're gonna have to work between the snow showers, and get that taken care of. So some of these other things that we have kind of sitting around the farm, I think like that container there is for making liquid lime, if I'm not mistaken. Actually making liquid fertilizer and herbicide. I don't have anything in here now to run just yet, but I will be working on that during the winter, getting these things filled up and get them running, as long as, you know, temperatures don't drop too far. And this is actually our dairy mixer setup, apparently. Okay, so we can do buffalo milk, mozzarella, cheese, butter, chocolates, apparently. I haven't actually used this particular one, so looks like we can put buffalo milk, goat milk, awesome. Regular cow's milk. I don't have any buffalo. And sugar I'm gonna have to purchase. Though I could possibly, well, maybe. Sugar cane is available on this. So I could take the small field that's currently corn, wait until March, plant sugarcane in that, and that would allow us to get sugar. Or maybe I do sugar beets in that. I got a lot of thinking to do on that. But now that I know I have a production that would require it, let me out. There we go. Now I know that we have at least one production that's going to require that, then I may actually plant something that will warrant us to be able to do something with it. Because I'm trying to be smart about what I plant down, and if I need to end up needing to buy like a pallet of sugar or something like that from the store, then I will do that. But one of the other reasons why I got this particular XUV as well as that little trailer to go with it is because we have something brewing over here around the corner. And I've mentioned it in other videos as far as, you know, some of the things I like am trying to get into. If you know the map, you probably have a good idea of where I'm heading. But that is all the way down here in the corner. And that is going to be logging. Trying to get into doing some logging here on this map. If anything, just kind of clear-cut trees type of deal and plant new ones. I do kind of want to make this area back here. I want to clean it up first of all. And then get around to planting trees into the ground. But most of these trees that are back here are just so straight and perfect. I think it should be relatively easy to get done. But they are very close together, so I do need to be careful. They are all going to be coming down, and we are going to be planting other trees in their place. Basically, so we have our own little resource for trees. I may or may not get at least some of these trees around the edge cleaned up just so we can bring the plowed up ground a little closer to this field. But I still want to make sure I stay far enough away that the game obviously registers it as a separate field. So that might be difficult, but there's ways around ensuring that. But I do have a few different buildings over here that are ready for processing. So obviously this is going to be our main one. And we'll use this to process and get our planks out of it and things like that. Some smaller pieces we can bring over here and process as firewood and sell that. And once we get planks and such, that's where this comes into play. Where we can take those pieces and make barrels and buckets. It's a start, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. Just at least starting to get my foot into the door. Then we can kind of work on making our way into building actual furniture, toys, things like that. So I figure making barrels is going to be a little bit easier for me to figure out and accomplish. But I try to make sure everything is far enough away so the corn is not affected, because I do want to make sure I get a nice, good harvest out of that. So, with rain coming in the forecast, our corn is going to be fine, I believe. But yeah, this is going to be something that, in addition to ensuring our animals are well fed and taken care of, and our gardens get dealt with properly before they, get frostbite and wither and die on us, we'll get those addressed as well this fall. But coming back here is going to be a little bit more of a when I have time type of deal. So it's not going to be a top priority, but we do want to get into that and start working on that. And it's kind of where we're going right now, kind of having our foot in just about everything. And one thing I forgot to mention is the fields that we own. So yeah, so I see our helper is just stopped there, and I have no idea why. So I'm gonna have to probably kick him out, fire him, and then get the job done myself, and then get all these bits and pieces cleaned up around the field. There's the farmland. So yeah, we own all this. I thought about buying 12 and 38, but that's also the BGA, and I don't know if I really want to deal with that just yet. And 12 is just kind of up there and out of the way. I've always kind of thought of that as being part of this farmland instead, but I might just buy that and get rid of the trees and expand this field out a little bit more. So yeah, I did end up buying, these other plots of land that we did not originally own. So 2, 3, and 7 are now part of our lands. Oh, and 20, where the trees are. So that's where we're looking so far. Like I said, this is going to become more of a staple on our channel, I think, on Saturdays, or when I don't feel like doing, or we don't have a new map somewhere. So, and like I said, if you didn't catch in the last video or the previous or the one before that, I believe, my start from scratch gameplay, I got a little frustrated with it, and I ended up deleting it, partially on accident, partially out of frustration. So at least for now, that's not going to be on the channel. I think I might start a different start from scratch on a logging map. I might do something crazy, like, get one of these utility vehicles, and that'll be my vehicle that we need to, well, that and a chainsaw, and just go from there. And just find a plot of land that we can buy, and we'll figure things out as we go. So guys, as always, if you happen to like what you see or catch yourself watching more than one of my videos, please do us both a favor and hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. That bell will let you be notified of every single video I post, and not just select you here and there. If you made it this far in the video, guys, I do want to say thank you, and I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. And I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. So with all that being said, we will catch you in the next episode. So take care. Peace.